All right, all right. We already have 31 people, 32 people now in the session. Dr. Eyford, are you ready? Shall we just go? Shall I just go in and start with the intro?
Let's jump in.
Okay, so I had an opportunity to basically, have a conversation with Jonas, and here is the intro that I crafted from that. Enigma. I'm not going to try to explain how or why Dr. Jonas Eyford says that's a good word to describe him, but I am going to share a little of what I learned in getting to know him. During our 10 minutes, Jonas was incredibly open, vulnerable to me, a stranger, and telling me about his passion to uplift others and how that is his deepest form of gratitude. And it occurred to me to ask Jonas about when he hasn't followed his own advice. In doing so, Jonas talked about courage and the time that he lacked the courage to ask a tough and personal question to his then ex-girlfriend's uncle about his health. Well, her uncle passed shortly thereafter without Jonas having had the opportunity to make that breakthrough. And this is part of the impetus for Jonas to reflect, which allows him to tap into his courage. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jonas Eyford, a unique observer of the world who will help uplift us and facilitate tapping into our own courage. How was that?
That's too much. You're making me blush. Thank you,
Shut in. Okay, I'm going to hide myself. Take it away.
Okay. So thanks for joining. This is going to be nice and simple. What I want to do is just make this a productive 10-15 minutes for you all. So that's my goal, is to make you feel a little bit better today. That's all we accomplish, then I'm happy. And I was just thinking just before this started of the story of where this originated from, and I'll just briefly share this with you because it's fun. It's rather simple. One day my wife told me she was feeling really fatigued. And there was no amount of coffee that was fixing the problem. I suggested she nap, but she wasn't able to. And then all of a sudden, almost like a lightning bolt just struck me. There's all these things I've spent the last 10-15 years of my life learning about how to manipulate the body in every way, using temperature, using internal methods, mindfulness methods, using chemistry, things that we consume that we eat or don't consume that we eat, using rest in specific ways, using movement. That's one of my favorites. And so I decided we would spend the next 10 minutes doing 10 different things. And each one of them was this highly focused individual effort that would bring some benefit to her physical state. And sure enough, I walked her through these 10 things, and within 10 minutes, she was feeling a lot better. And this is kind of an adaptation of that. So I just wanted to share this as a way to help you explore a few different things. A lot of these you'd surely be familiar with, but a few different things, and hopefully some of them will help you feel a little bit better, and you can put those into your tool belt moving forward when you feel a little lethargic or down, or you need some stimulation, a little recharge, a little more energy through the day. So let's get started. Now, I want to help you use mostly movement, but like I mentioned, a few other techniques to recharge yourself. What we're doing is using all these different things to try and boost our chemical state. That's kind of how I understand the body. Ultimately, it's like a huge complex series of chemical reactions, neurotransmitters and endorphins and hormones. And basically what we're trying to do is manipulate them in a positive way to find ourselves in a balanced state. And so that's what we're doing right now. We're going to do just 8 things, 8 minutes. I'm going to try to use a stopwatch to keep on track here. Now, the first one, super simple. Don't scoff at it. If you would benefit from taking a moment right now to going to get a glass of water, please do. I encourage you to. Go drink some water. If you have some next to you, take a sip. If you feel any inclination to hydrate, let's do that. And this is really simple, and we all know that the value of this I don't need to explain, but it fits into this theme of creating balance in our hormonal chemical state, hydrating ourselves. I'm going to practice what do I preach here. So I'm going to just take a moment, let anybody who left to grab a glass of water come back. The next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to try to summon my late night jazz FM DJ voice, and I'll guide you through a very simple exercise. This is not like a formal mindfulness meditation or anything like this, but it's just an opportunity to calm your mind. And I put this title, Quiet Your Mind, but I actually don't like it because I realize quieting your mind implies suppressing your thoughts. And just like your heart is made to pump, your brain is made to think. And so I've always rejected this idea of mindfulness and meditation as a suppressing of thoughts. So forgive me for the title, but what I want to encourage you to do once you've come and had a sip of water and come back is try, if you can, find a little space, push your chair aside and lie down. I want you to lie on your back, relax your body, bend your knees or get yourself in whatever position is comfortable. And I'm going to start the timer here. I want you to lie down, and what I suggest you do, if you're willing, is just listen, observe your thoughts. It's going to be bouncing around. You're going to be thinking about 100 different things, what happened this morning, what you're looking forward to eating this afternoon, and that's fine. Just observe them. And I want to encourage you to just put your palms, cup your palms over your eyes like so to block out all the light. This is a simple thing that we can do that has a mild physiological impact. So go ahead and try that and just block the light. And this is really simple. You know that our retinas respond to light signals, and that triggers a chemical reaction in our brain to stimulate alertness and suppress the release of melatonin and so on. So taking a moment to just turn that sensory input off is kind of nice. And even though we're doing this for just a moment, that's kind of the point. You don't need to go off and do a 20-minute meditation to benefit from this activity of rest. Now, that's a simple activity. We're going to move on so you can get back up and sneeze. Excuse me. That was part of the activity. Please go ahead and sneeze now. That's that. Another incredibly simple one. I don't suppose there's anybody listening who has not learned how to breathe effectively. So we're just going to take a moment to breathe. And this is really, really simple. We're just going to take slow breaths in. So I'm going to do one with you, and then I'll talk while you do a few more. So keep breathing at that pace and just try to keep yourself going really slow. Don't force it, but take your time with it. I like this one because I had to learn to be patient with it. I've always been really adamant about things that work really well and that are really practical and hard-hitting. And so I always thought, breathing is boring. But you know what? It does have a mild physiological impact. And taking the time to soothe your parasympathetic nervous system with some slow breaths does make you feel better pretty much across the board, even if it's to a small extent. So take one more breath. And as we breathe out, I'm going to move into this stretching. Stretching, again, I know you're all familiar. I'm not educating you here. What I want to do is just give you the opportunity to do a little. Now, I chose these two. Let's get into it while I talk. So trapezius, these muscles here in your upper back, we all have tight traps. So this is always going to be helpful. If you want to sit on your hands that you're not using to tilt your head, go ahead. It'll prevent your shoulder from coming up, so it makes it a bit better. But if not, that's fine too. Just do a simple stretch like this. Try to keep breathing as you do. Now, the reason I recommend you stretch your traps and your hip flexors, which I'll get to in a minute, is simply because we develop strain in our body because the way we sit and work all day. So this is tuning into where in your body you're holding tension, you're building tension and undoing it. This is a really wise thing to do. Continue stretching. Now to the other side. This is a wise thing to do because we're incrementally mitigating the stress that builds up in our body while we go through our day, instead of building it up, and then being really sore at the end of the day and having to spend a lot of time and effort and energy resolving it. So now move on to your hip flexors. This is simple. Just do a lunge. Just do a little stretch by standing up and doing a little lunge, dipping down one side at a time. So put one leg in front of the other, keep the back leg straight, and then just dip down. Hold it for about 10 seconds at least on each side. That's a hip flexor stretch. The reason we do that is because our hips are always angled up at 90 degrees or more as we sit for most of the day. Even when we stand, sometimes our hip flexors can stay tight, and that does a bunch of things. Just produces discomfort, not to mention has a negative impact on your back over time. So that's why we start with this, and you can start building these stretches into your day in a nice, easy way while you're having meetings, while you're waiting on something or someone. Use that idle time to optimize your body and create balance. Now we're going to do a little bit of movement. Movement is perhaps the most powerful, potent way to release endorphins and optimize the chemical state of your body. So this one, hopefully it's not too elaborate for people here in this brief session, but if you can lie down again and just do a twist. I didn't set myself up to demonstrate here, so forgive me, but basically we all know this one. If you lie on your back and you twist your legs one way and your arms the other, so your right leg crosses over your left and you're twisting it over your body this way, and then you keep your shoulder back on the ground this way. And that's just a stretch through your core. And this is valuable simply because it's stretching your abdominal muscles, your thoracic muscles, your leg muscles, pelvic muscles, all in a way that you're not getting movement in during the day when you're sitting. So it's relieving, it's beneficial, it's helpful in that way. So take a moment to get into that one. And in a few seconds, we'll switch over to the other side if you manage to get into that position. And the next one, Cobra. Hopefully you're familiar with that one too. This is when you lie on your stomach, derived from yoga. Lie in your stomach and then just bring yourself up on your elbows or even your hands if you feel ambitious. And this is a way to get extension in your low back, your lumbar spine. The reason we're going to move into that, and you can transition now, if you've spent a few seconds stretching to the other side, you can transition now into doing a little Cobra. This is valuable simply because our low back is always bent forward. So spend a moment or two bending backwards during your day as a break, as a rest, even if it's 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It's sufficient to give those tissues in your body a rest, balance. Okay, take another moment or two to try the Cobra if you haven't got there yet, or to finish it off if you've done it. And if you haven't been trying it, you can just continue to imagine them. Okay, the next one we're going to do, so don't sit down quite yet. This is really simple. We're going to jump. We're going to jump 13 times. Why? Because I picked an arbitrary number. So go ahead and just jump on the spot. Doesn't have to be vigorous, doesn't have to be much, just jump. This is a really simple thing that just, again, has a simple and mild physiological benefit. Keep going, I'm watching. Try to jump this at least 13 times. If it feels great, keep going. This should feel great for a lot of reasons. Your body is designed to move. You need movement. The cardiovascular benefits, the endorphins that you get from even jumping 13 times is helpful. And how long does it take to jump 13 times? Not very long, so we can interject this anywhere. Are we doing okay for time here?
Got to wrap it up.
Yes? Okay. All right, let's see. Where are we now? Okay, shaking, I'll let you do that on your own time then. I'll just sum up. What I was going to get you through was a little bit of shaking, a little bit of washing cold water over your neck, and that's just in place of taking a cold shower, which can really stimulate some cool hormonal benefits in your body. And ultimately, these are all just really simple, easy techniques that you can combine to improve your physiological state methodologically. So this is really predictably improving how you feel, your state of body, state of mind, your emotional state, with really easy, simple increments. And so I hope that was helpful for you, in the very least as a reminder that you can do some simple, easy things while you work, while you're at this conference, to improve how you feel during the day, and help your employees do that if you have the opportunity as well, all you lovely HR people. So If you want to come visit me at the booth at any point during the day when it's trade show time, please do.
Cool, Dr. Eyford, thank you so very much. And what happened to the baby? Where's the baby?
He got distracted as he.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. I got to boogie over to my next session here. Oh, here's the baby. We get to see the baby before we go. Yeah, the baby.
Playing with electrical things. My greatest teacher.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good.
We got to go.
Cheers.
Bye.